all-time win the under-20s fixture, and it's Rockdale Ilinden running our 2-1 winners. Here, a big round of applause for under-20s, great performance, 3 points. For tonight's game, we have our special guest performers from the Tsunareka band, featuring Georgie and crew, and they'll be playing for us in the lead up to our first great picture. So a big round of applause for Georgie and the Tinareka band. First grade is about to commence shortly. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors here at Rockdale Ilinden, our major partner MKD Transport, committed to reliability. Our gold partners Marco Polo Foods, fine foods from across the sea. PCFS Logistics for your freight forwarding needs. The Osmac Construction Group. Pino's Dolce Vita, fine foods. Myland Funding, mortgage broking services. Simico Taxation and Advisory Services. MDL Customs and Compliance. The Macedonian Cultural Welfare Association. SCIS Property Group, Sickers, our 2026 apparel partner, Caribou Reinforcement Solutions, and Project Cars, our silver sponsors, Dib Legal, Niji Sushi Bar Hurstville, South Hurstville Pharmacy, Cityview Group, Consolidated Office Choice Cobra, Zappia Produce Group, Bella Transport, Sydney Civil, Ribrowski Catering Equipment, Liquor Stacks Reevesby, Lang & Simmons St George, Joe's Poultry, B&B Brick Lane, Baudry Australia, Fruit Easy, Majestic Caravans, The Wicks Group, Direct Inject, EMC Civil, Mar Consulting, Metro Resources Group, Paris Prestige, BKH Group, Borger Cranes, and all of our top suppliers, Kingswood Smith Transport, ABS Audio Visual, and Visco Fine Foods. We also want to thank our ground signage holders. We also want to thank this evening in attendance as our player mascots and ball boys, squad members from our PDP development program. Thank you to all our PDP players for turning up this evening and supporting our first grade boys. The PDP offers a pathway into our JDL programs and into our youth programs. Just a reminder for those latecomers, we do have a number of canteens operating today. The central canteen at the entry to the facility. Also, the southern beer garden canteen. And don't forget, after the game, DJ Age will be playing tunes there till late. We have a rotisserie on the charcoal. We also have a pop-up canteen at the Northern Hill. So make your way to any of those three canteens. The central one will be pretty busy, so go to the one at the northern and southern end of the facility and try one of our fine selection of foods and drinks. That's a big round of applause for Rockdale Ilinden.
The sun shines on the Ilinden Sports Centre for one of the first circled fixtures on any calendar ahead of a new season of NPL New South Wales. It is Derby Day against Rockdale Ilinden and Sydney Olympic, two titans of New South Wales football going head-to-head for the 36th time in league play since the turn of the millennium. Now, two teams whose status as premiership clubs is as long-standing as their rivalry burns bright. Rockdale Ilinden returning home, looking to keep the good times rolling after back-to-back wins against Blacktown City and SD Raiders of late. All these men hoping that today will continue their rampant run on Derby Day against Olympic at this venue. They have lost just once in 15 years at the Ilinden Sports Centre against their rivals. They say you throw the form books out the window for a rivalry matchup such as this. Well, Sydney Olympic will be hoping that that is some inspiration for them today as they look to pick themselves up off the turf from a disappointing 2-1 defeat to NWS Spirits last week. All Magrone's men turning a 2-1, or rather David Magrone's men turning a 1-0 lead into a 2-1 loss by the full-time whistle. A frustratingly familiar feeling for their ever-ambitious Sydney Olympic supporters, who will be demanding a response today against one of their least favourite enemies. Unchanged lineups for both sides off the back of last week. Just the one change to either matchday squad. Jordi Follette is brought into the bench in place of Lucas Riborevski, while Daniel Wong misses out for Sydney Olympic. Peter Grozos in line for his Sutherland, or rather Sydney Olympic debut, having made the switch from the Sutherland Sharks. Great crowd in the house at the Ilinden Sports Centre for one of Sydney football's favourite fixtures. It is one that has been recently dominated by the home support, but nothing would set Sydney Olympic season right like a win against their arch rival. It's underway at the Ilinden Sports Centre. Great to have your company for it, wherever you're tuning in from on the NPL New South Wales YouTube. Mikey Flanagan in the commentary box with you this evening. The Ilinden Sports Centre faithful will already be riding high off the back of a rousing come-from-behind win for their under-20s. Played as the curtain raiser to this. There's been some traditional music, live performance from a local band before kick-off. Spirits are high as these two sides look desperately to add another win to their tally in round 5 of NPL New South Wales. It's the final game of an action-packed Saturday. Speranza, look at early ball, headed away by Ziggy Gordon, and it's a miscue from Jerry Skatatis. The first shot in anger of this fixture. It was a topsy-turvy clash last season across the two head-to-head meetings. As Marco Adam Basic looks to switch the field of play unsuccessfully. 2-2 draw last time they met at Nostrada Jubilee late last season. It was another one of those classic Rockdale late shows. James Nikolovsky scoring in stoppage time to salvage a point for Ilinden on their road to the finals and ultimately runners-up in the grand final. Very different story last time they met here in Sydney's south. Rockdale running up 4-0 winners back in round 13. It's a build here early. It's a great touch and turn from a former Sydney Olympic player in Brendan Chalaki, and one that's those Olympic supporters who have made the journey will no doubt be looking out for today. It's one of a rare breed of players to have scored on either side of this Derby divide. Scored in back-to-back seasons in this fixture, both for Rockdale, both in wins. Here, Kunamoto, the ground is given way beneath his feet, but the ball may be a perfect one. Well read in the end by Ziggy Gordon, who was heading off at the pass, and offside Muri Najar. Bailey Callahan not quite able to keep that one in play. Interesting that David Magrone today names an unchanged 11 despite the result last week, especially given Josh Hong was substituted off early, with what looked a nasty hamstring injury, as an early shot is well off target from Yuta Kimura. Great to see that Josh Hong is right to retain his place in the centre of defence alongside Ziggy Gordon. Gordon, of course, red carded in that last head-to-head meeting I mentioned earlier at Jubilee Stadium. Hunter Elliott is very willing with his challenge. Launch forward for Chalaki, and not able to twist and turn his way around Marcus Fernandez. Kunamoto shifts it wide to Speranza. Plenty of early pace about this fixture. Kunamoto across to Van der Sar. Rockdale looking to change the locus of the attack, but the press and shape from Sydney Olympic off the ball is solid so far. Speranza on the same wavelength with his teammate in Harry McCarthy, who can only momentarily win it back. Speranza falling afoul of the same issue. Hong. It's back to Josipovic. Keeper will be out for a more steady showing today. It's a moment he'd probably rather have again in the lead up to Spirit's equalising goal for Shoki Yoshida last week. It's a shot that slipped through his grasp, and without Spirit a route back into the ball game, they extracted to full effect and to all 3 points. Pumped away that by Speranza. He's had a red hot start to the season. The Rockdale fullback, 2 goals. London's joint top scorer. And the flag has stayed down on Bailey Callahan here. Olympic moving forward with menace. Callahan's shot blocked nicely by the aforementioned Speranza. Forward comes Ben Jarson. Back to Bailey Callahan. Tantalising early ball. And had there been some more telling contact from Yuto Fujita, that could well have been the opener in this one. In any case, corner taken quickly for Olympic. Sidewinded away to Jarson. Fujita not able to replicate his feats of scoring inside the opening 10 minutes as he did at Belmore last week. Really nicely taken goal as well from the newly signed Japanese winger. One of 3 players we've got out there tonight from the land of the rising sun. His teammate Yuta Kimura, one of the others. There's Rio Kunamoto, who's just passed the ball off to Harry van der Sar. Couple of promising early flashes though from Olympic. That's a risky pass, picked up by McCarthy. Can't be punished though by the Ilinden midfield. Basic worked under the ball. Play allowed to continue. And it's Bailey Callahan on the move again. It's one of the handful of players who lay claim to not only being a holdover from last season, all the change at Sydney Olympic, all the new signings, but also one of the few players who have scored against Rockdale in the past. In the final rounds of 2023, stoppage time equaliser. As it's turned over carelessly here and well blocked by Hong Moody Najjar. Looking to strike again against Sydney Olympic. Callahan scoring for Sydney FC in stoppage time. A goal that ultimately denied Rockdale the premiership that year. Confirmed Apia's title. Been playing with the bit between his teeth so far. Isaac Dunzo. Heavy touch from Speranza. Affords it back to Aaron Basic, who gave it back as quickly as he retrieved it. Switcher play is going to run out of real estate before Ollie Wiggin can reel it in. Callahan again with space and room to work with. Checks onto the left. It's not his best cross and cleared away by Kunamoto. Speranza. Have seen plenty of the football so far, but found making Sydney Olympics defensive rear guard easier said than done so far. Try the right hand side this time. Wiggin gets the head down. Skotadis picks up the pieces in midfield. Van der Sarg out to Elliott. Gordon did very well to deal with the danger there. The Scottish veteran Najjar has found himself in an offside position. That's a bit of a lazy one from the Rockdale persuasion. Fast out of the blocks last week, Rockdale, as you would expect them to be against the newly promoted NSW Raiders. Been a side known for their late shows, but they scored two in the first half last week. Moody Najjar and Ollie Wiggin the scorers, the latter of whom opened the account after 12 minutes. 12 minutes here in Rockdale, both sides still searching for that first. Poor giveaway by Olympic. McCarthy, clever flick. Did it come off the arm of Chalakian? No whistle arrives from Sam Kelly. Chalakian threads the needle. Danzo lifting it in. Wiggins there. And the handball appeals are fervent but unrewarded by the referee. It was almost, well, not quite carbon copy, but a cheap facsimile of Illinden's opener last week. That cross from the left-hand edge of the penalty area, dipping to the back post where Ollie Wiggin was able to stick it in for the opener against SD Raiders. Not quite to be this time around. Hope not lost though. Corner coming for Rockdale. Curled in well. Van der Sar was the lurking target. Soglovic was able to just tow it away for a moment's reprieve. Early ball in from Elliott. Whips across the face of the Olympic defence to no avail. And Callahan just couldn't get the eye in to feed Yuto Fujita. Chalakian. Hunter Elliott. Two sides still very much feeling each other out on Derby Day. Harry McCarthy. Back to McCarthy, chopped inside. It was a good cross into the box that lacked a willing recipient. Olympic looks a break. Trosoglovic thwarted in his advance. Kimura. To Levi K. Rockdale's triumvirate of arrivals from Manly. Wiggins pass just offline for Moody Najjar. Van der Sar, Harry McCarthy and Levi K all making their way down from Cromer. So playing red and black this season, of course. Van der Sar's arrival broken up by a short stint with Marconi in the Australian Championship. Speranza. To Isaac Danzo. Speranza, wicked left-footed ball, and Najjar's header's wide. A profligate glance away from goal rather than towards it. Scuppers, an otherwise promising piece of Ilinden play. Just a delightful cross from Giorgio Speranza on the left. Still finding the occasional opening by Rockdale. Two sides who, prior to the games kicking off before them, would have been amongst the top of the league for most goals in their games so far this season. We've seen 17 in Sydney Olympic fixtures so far this season. 15 for Rockdale, so no goal yet, but the early evidence of these two sides' season is that some should well be on the way. I mentioned those 35 league meetings since the year 2000. Only 3 of them have ever gone goalless. Head-to-head record, that is. Rather dominated by Ilinden, but more on that later. Hunter Elliott knocking it back to Harry Van der Sar. Skotadis. That's a better ball from Danzo. Wigan fires the ball inside. Offside flag was already up. And the header was the wrong side of the net anyway from Chalakian. Ilinden beginning to have some real joy from those wide positions, testing the likes of Jacob Drasoglovic and Ben Jarson, both of whom settling into new surrounds at senior level as Callahan forces Kunimoto to corkscrew away a clearance. The juniors are often chasing to collect the loose ball and either have their 5 seconds of fame or return it as quickly as possible. Well, they've gone for the latter option. The ball's come onto the field, and I'm pretty sure the kid went for a sixer on his way down the hill as well. So, spectacle on and off the field, this encounter. Jarson appeals in vain for the handball. Rockdale will look to break, but Olympic get their numbers back quickly. Speranza. Shalakian just turned into a pocket of space, and that was nearly something special from the former Sydney Olympic man. We saw him whistle one just over the frame of goal last week against SD Raiders as well. Would have been a goal of the week, possibly goal of the season contender. To be a goal against Olympic for the third year running for the man who spent 2 seasons there, one of them COVID affected, the other one a one in which he enjoyed premiership success. As Fajita, it's going to sit up at the back stick for him. Fajita straight into the arms of Levi Kay, who's called into action really for the first time this evening. Bit of a careless moment from Rockdale. Spencer Elliott gambled on retrieving a loose ball that he really ought to have picked off, but didn't. And again, Yuto Fujita is unable to open the scoring. So we've got a break in play at the Ilinden Sports Centre to allow for some treatment for Jerry Skatardis. Taken off his feet in the aftermath of a chance for Yuto Fujita. Stop me if you've heard this before. It's one of the many new signings at Sydney Olympic this season. It's far easier to name new players than continuity candidates in this Ilinden squad. 18 departures from last year. A fair swathe of new signings to go with a number of players who have been elevated from the junior ranks. Fujita has caught the eye so far since signing from Atletico Suzuka, the third tier of Japanese football. He used to be teammate to a very famous name in world football, Kazuyoshi Miura, the oldest active player in world football at 58 years of age. Hard to believe it's been some 20 years since his short stint at Sydney FC.
Coming off is number 8, Jerry Skatardis, replaced by number 11, Lachlan Constable.
Sadly, that injury stoppage has spelled the end of the day for Jerry Skatardis. Paul D has been forced to substitute his former A-League midfielder. So hopefully that is not too serious and precautionary for Skatardis. Took it little bit worried though when players going to their trip to the turf is delayed and roll off the ball. Perhaps Paul D will take some solace in the fact that Lockie Constable is a very handy replacement. Played every game for Ilinden last year. Fourth year now, it's Rockdale for Lockie Constable. Which does include a goal against Sydney Olympic back in 2024. Fierce press from Ilinden that Olympic are able to play around. Jarson looking to feed the feet of Marko Adambasic. A fairly periphery figure in the opening 24 minutes, but he's largely been central to a lot of the good attacking play that Olympic have enjoyed this season. 2 goals and 3 assists in his first 5 games in an Olympic shirt. As Danzo lifts it over the top to try and reward the run of Muri Najar. It's a well-judged piece of goalkeeping in the end by Josipovic. Marcus Fernandez. Najar stolen in on Fernandez, and the whistle is swift from Sam Kelly. Credit the hustle of Isaac Danzo to close down the space for Marcus Fernandez, because that was what made it an option for Muri Najar to run and chase. Able to afford a set piece for the home side. Brendan Chalakian to take. And will be looking to exploit an early season frailty for Olympic from set pieces. 6 of their 8 goals conceded this year have come from set piece situations. Chalakian's ball, decent, awkward for Olovic, who is able to flap it away at the concession of a Rockdale corner. Oh, he's such a great player to watch over a dead ball is Brendan Chalakian. I think it would be controversial at all to say he is one of NPL New South Wales chief technicians and has been for a long time. Sydney Olympic know that more than most. So in comes the corner now. It's headed clear by Kim Jun-yong, Korean midfielder. All he can do is buy time for Olympic to set themselves for a 3rd set piece in quick succession. It's a winding ball towards the penalty spot. It's over all the waiting heads, even the ones in a blue shirt. Danzo. Speranza. Chalakian fires it to the feet of his midfield partner in Danzo, who's left it cleverly to allow Chalakian to run onto it. He drills the ball in low, and Ziggy Gordon is in the right place at the right time to repel. Danzo and Chalakian link up again. Checking onto the left this time. Inside footed away by Trosoglovic. Sydney Olympic have picked off Hunter Elliott again. And it's Vegeta who marches forward. Kimura has overlapping run. Unrewarded. Iliden's off-ball hustle made sure that wasn't a more dangerous situation for their defence. So a comfortable tangle between Speranza and Bailey Callahan. Sam Kelly He must have made the judgment that it was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, and made the decision to allow play to continue. Jarson. It's for home in the form of Josip Orlovic. Side still waiting to lay down a marker in this fixture. Gordon. And the captain's armband for Olympic in his 4th year at the club. Kimura. Awkward hot pass back to Marcus Fernandez. That's a clever pass. Callahan left the ball behind. Advantage signalled by Sam Kelly. And here come Olympic. Jarson, well defended by Kunamoto. Take 2 for Jarson. Aaron Basic rose. Didn't strike. And Kimura couldn't get convincing contact as he looked to fire on the angle. Josh Hong. It's been the quieter of the 2 central defenders so far. Marcus Fernandez felled. Free kick coming for Sydney Olympic. It's not been a happy place for them to travel over the years. The Ilinden Sports Centre for Olympic. 2 wins in 15 visits in league play since 2000, but they are well in this one as we enter the half-hour mark. Great ball in. Aaron Basic's header straight at Levi Kay. And it would have counted for naught had he stuck it in on the rebound, because the flag was up against the towering son of a gun that is Marko Aaron Basic. Zlatko, of course, a former Socceroo. McCarthy, what a ball that is for Moody Najjar. It's Moody Najjar for Rockdale! It's the opener in the derby! And it's Moody Najjar who makes his mark against Olympic again. Quality pass from Harry McCarthy to make it so. Rewarded by a top-notch finish from Moody Najjar, who has his 3rd of the NPL New South Wales season already. And Ilinden lead on Derby Day on home turf. For all of their solidity so far in defence, the visiting Sydney Olympic side carved open by a piece of quality from Harry McCarthy. Jinked his way inside a nearby marker. Right-footed reverse ball. Beat Ziggy Gordon, all ends up, and the finish from Moody Najjar was unerring. And leaves Olympic with work to do on enemy territory. The big questions going into the new season for Rockdale was, it's a question we might come back to later. Fajita, cut back, Aaron Basic, equaliser. What a response from Olympic. And one striker who is catching fire, is quickly responded to by another. Marko Arambasic strokes the ball home, and in the blink of an eye, we are level at Ilinden. Third of the year for Muni Najar, cancelled out by a third of the year for Marko Arambasic. Just as easily as Illinden's defence was scythed open for the opener, so too was their defence from the equaliser. Driving run from Yuto Fujita. Here come Rockdale though, deflected ball. Wigan contesting. It was a little ugly in the penalty area. Sam Kelly awards the free kick to Olympic and gives us a chance to breathe. It was a very quiet opening half hour. Derby Day in Sydney's south has now exploded into life with 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes. That is just the response David Magrone would have been hoping for. It could get even better here. Arambasic chopping back. It's a poor clearance. It's Fujita! Couldn't get the effort on target. And David Magrone splays his palms on the Sydney Olympic sideline. They have even been able to catch a few expletives for his Japanese live wire at his lack of ability to get that effort on target, because it was gift wrapped to him by the Ilinden defence. Nothing illustrates the Jekyll and Hyde nature of the Sydney Olympic side we've come to know over the last few seasons than this last couple of minutes. Goal conceded means it's the 19th game in a row they've gone without keeping a clean sheet. But a goal scored means it's their 11th game in succession finding the back of the net. 20 of the last 21 games. This is anyone's fixture now. It has really opened up. Callahan clears the space for the run of Ben Jarson. Hong. Najar is not happy he'd overcommitted to Hong's right, because it could have afforded him a fancy little gift if he'd stayed on Hong's left. He's still going to get one here. Najar has picked the pocket of Olympic again. He's got his work cut out for him here. Muni Najar! Always fighting against the weight of odds from that angle. But Ilinden and Olympic are in a battle to present a goal in this game, gift wrapped to their opposition. A couple of careless turnovers in a matter of minutes. Both have gone unpunished. Both would have been for the outright lead of this game. And if you decided to tuck into your tea at the half-hour mark, you made a very poor choice. Najar scoring the opener for Rockdale in the 31st. Marko Arambasic equalising in the 33rd. Game well and truly on at the Ilinden Sports Centre. Danzo, Wigan, Chalakian! Trickles agonisingly past the post. And a game previously bereft of chances has now transitioned into one veritably laden with them. To forgive the commentary cliche, but it really does have the feeling of a fixture where more goals are not far away. Kunimoto. Rocky Constable. Careful little pass. Chalakian. Offside. And Jacob Drosogovic turns the ball into his own net, knowing it doesn't actually matter at all. By and large, though, it's been a good response by Olympic to going behind. Good test for their mental resolve, their bounce-back ability. So much of the recent talk around this Olympic side has been their inability to defend leads as opposed to chasing them. Showing good character so far. They'll have to do again here. The early ball past the reach of Olovic. And Jarson does enough. Olovic was caught a little bit in no man's land there. He was perhaps still reflecting on a stern critique that David Magrone had just been dishing him out from the coach's box. Or from the dugout, rather. Gordon. Will pass across the face of defence for Josh Hong. Rockdale strong to win it back. Ollie Wigan. It is an open fair at the Ilinden Sports Centre. Esperanza momentarily took to the turf after winning that ball back. Kamura. Drosogovic getting back to Ziggy Gordon. Always looking for that long out ball for the hold-up play, the back-to-goal work of Marko Arambasic. After a bit of a soul-searching season across two clubs, starting the year at Spirit before returning to Sydney United, it feels as though he has really found his feet with Sydney Olympic. 3 goals and 3 assists already this season. Drosogovic marching forward, still going the fullback. It's a great pass too, and able to make much of it in the end was Marcus Fernandez, but he has won a corner for the visitors. It's a bustling run though from Jacob Drosogovic. Former Sutherland Shark was hunting forward with real intent. It's a big body fullback, hard to bustle off the ball when he builds up ahead of steam. Fernandez's cross deflected. Constable able to reach that one first to tip it towards Moody Najjar. He's got Ben Jarson for company. And Harry McCarthy in support. Still Harry McCarthy. prods it towards goal, and Josipovic had the near post well covered. And it goes for a Rockdale corner. His first half stoppage time approaches. A first half that, if you're a neutral, will not be wanting to end. Chalakian's corner. Orlovic just dropped it, but is able to regain at the second time of asking. There were some fears that this one could be impacted by Sydney Storms. Touch wood, that won't happen, but it's only a light drizzle. A very occasional one at that. Here at Rockdale's home ground. Possibly that tiny bit of additional slick on the surface is helping teams move the ball when they've got it, hindering defences trying to stop it. Speranza. Not sure if Chalakian was his intended target, but it worked out for a moment. Gordon. Basic couldn't lay it down for Marcus Fernandez. McCarthy. Chalakian drifting into that little left pocket again and swinging in a right-footed cross that is repelled by Ziggy Gordon. Fujita again on the football, feeding his compatriot in Kimura. The 1-2 just not able to be exacted that time around. Basic breaking away and blazing away. Olympics towering striker. Given the start to the year that he has had, you cannot blame him for firing off an effort like that. It's already one away from equaling his tally of 4 in NPL New South Wales across 2 clubs last season. What a turn that is from Ollie Wigan. Chalakian not quite able to do the same. Najar herring after it again. Talk about strikers with big shoes to fill. Rudy Najar is amongst the biggest boots in Australia to step into this season, trying to fill the void left by the departed Alek Udasevski. His 24 goals from last year have gone out the door, but like Aaron Basic, he started the season very well. And Aaron Basic's season could have gotten even better, but for a very solid challenge from Harry van der Sarg. Najar leading the line this year to play across the front 3 last season. Only 1 goal in the opening 5 rounds of the year, so he's tripled his tally at this point of the new campaign. Yuto Fujita on corner duties for Sydney Olympic. They will be on corner duties again on the basis of that one. Remains to be seen. Fired across by Fernandez. No one really gambling at the back post, and it brings to an end An entertaining opening 45.
That's halftime here at the Ilinden Sports Centre.
On Derby Day at the Ilinden Sports Centre. Great fare for the neutral. A game that really sparked into life after a slow 30 minutes. All it needed was a goal to breathe some fire into the fixture, and Moody Najjar was the man who did that on the 31st minute mark. He latched onto a delightful ball from Harry McCarthy to open the scoring. And just as Ilinden were sitting there enjoying the fruits of their labour, Olympic struck back in the blink of an eye. 2 minutes later, Yuto Fujita getting to the byline, cutting it back for Marko Aaron Basic, and squaring up this game. Plenty of chances have fallen thereafter. Will there be more on the other side of the break? You'd have to imagine so, but at half-time at the Ilinden Sports Centre, it's all to play for in the derby. Rockdale Ilinden 1, Sydney Olympic 1. We'll see you shortly on the other side of the break.
Yellow Transport, Sydney Civil, Riverosky Training Equipment Warehouse, Liquor Stacks Reesby, Lang & Simmons St George, Joe's Poultry, B&B Brick Lane, Audrey Australia, Food Easy, Majestic Caravans, The Ricks Group, Direct Metro Resources Group, Paris BKH Group, Borger Cranes, Mar Consulting, our club suppliers, Kinsett Smith Transport, ABA's Audio Visual, and Disco Fine Foods. Also want to acknowledge the support of our ground signage holders. Thank those that support Rockdale. Just a reminder, we do have multiple canteens operating for this evening's fixture. To avoid the rush of the central canteen, make your way to the southern end of the ground, where we also have DJ AG playing tunes at the end of the game. And we also have a pop-up canteen on the northern hill as well. About some upcoming fixtures here at Ilinden. We are back at home here next Saturday night. The final night game for the year for us against RPA Leichhardt Tigers. Here next Saturday, back-to-back home games. Next Saturday night, Rockdale versus RPA Leichhardt Tigers. 7:30 PM kick-off for that one. Once again, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors here, Rockdale Ilinden, for their continued support of our club. Major partner, MKD Transport, committed to reliability. Gold partners, Marco Polo Foods, fine foods from across the sea. PCFS Logistics, for your freight forwarding needs. Osmac Construction Group. Penland Dolce Vita Fine Foods. Myland Funding. Mortgage Broking Services. Simicare Taxation and Advisory Services. MTL Customs and Compliance. Macedonian Agricultural Welfare Association. SCOS Property Group. Sickers 2026 Apparel Partner. Aerobase Reinforcement Solutions and Project Cars. Our silver sponsors, It Legal. Niki Sushi Bar Hurstville. South Hurstville Pharmacy. Cityview Group. Consolidated Office Choice Cogra. Zappia Produce Group. Bella Transport. Sydney Civil. River Oscar Planning Equipment Warehouse. Liquor Stacks Registry. Land Civic St. George. Joe's Poultry. B&B Brick Lane. Audrey Australia. Fruit Easy. Majestic Caravans. The Ricks Group. Direct Inject at EMC Civil. Metro Resources Group. Paris Prestige. BKH Group. Borgia Crane. And Last Consulting. I also want to thank our club suppliers, NSW Transport, ABS Audio Visual, and Bisco Fine Foods. Also want to thank Eastco Ground Signing for the support those that support Rockdale. Can all the boys that are currently on the field please make your way off the field? All the kids on the field, off the field, only ball boys. Thank you.
Well, Sydney Olympic v Rockdale Ilinden is always one of the fixtures you look forward to seeing at the announcement of a new fixture, another season of NPL New South Wales. And our first 45-minute taste of this particular encounter at the Ilinden Sports Centre has reminded us exactly why it is level in South Sydney after a gripping opening 45 minutes. Moody Najar's opener on the half-hour mark, cancelled out in the space of 2 minutes by Marko Arambasic. Two strikers catching fire this season, scoring their third goal each in a game that has caught fire as it has gone on. But it remains there to be won for both of these sides. Will either of them be able to make it? Theirs remains the principal question of the remaining 45 minutes. It was a slightly slower start, not a number of major chances to call on before that first goal for Moody Najar, but thereafter a veritable avalanche of opportunities. They could well have had more, but for some savvy defending and a few pieces of rather profligate finishing. Will the freneticism that ended the first half continue into the second? The early evidence is perhaps Marko Arambasic has gone down on the other side of that challenge from Harry van der Saag. Both players have seemingly come out of the situation pretty poorly. We have already lost one player to injury in this fixture. Not the happiest of birthdays, unfortunately, for Jerry Skatardis. He was brought off with injury as he celebrated a 26th year around the sun today in the first half. David Magrone and Paul D will be crossing their fingers that neither of these two players will be added to their injury list here. Van der Saag, a key component in the centre of defence for Ilinden at the moment. He's a versatile player. He can be put in just about every position except goalkeeper, although I'm sure he'd fancy that he could give that one a go as well. But the pre-season injury to Lockie Griffiths, who returned to the Ilinden Sports Centre from Marconi, means that Van der Saag's central defensive responsibilities are now very valuable. Matthew Cordier currently absent for Ilinden as well. And Marko Arambasic is Olympics' top scorer this season. He is up to his feet and on the pitch, it must be said, moving a little gingerly. Problem is for David Magrone, he's a very hard player to replace. Attack-minded options, but none with the size and stature of Marko Arambasic. Now Fujita is clutching at his back after he was collected from behind. The Olympic bench asking the question as to why Sam Kelly did not decide to blow his whistle. And curiously, that Olympic bench has a substitute stripped and ready to come on. In fact, no, it doesn't. I was caught out by Jacob Trosoglovic standing on the sideline waiting to take the throw. With the everything but the top of his head obscured, it did genuinely look like it was a player coming off the bench. My apologies. Magrone can rest a little easier knowing that neither of his recently knocked players will have to come off the field. And both of them will be able to contribute to this incoming Sydney Olympic set piece. Which is being handed to Marcus Fernandez. One of a number of junior Sydney Olympic products that David Magrone has repatriated in the off-season from Sutherland. For the ball, not a bad one. Ziggy Gordon goes down, asking the question in the area. Nothing doing in the eyes of Sam Kelly. Nice little back heel from Fernandez for Fujita. Soglovic being harassed and harangued by Ollie Wigan. It's had an entertaining battle with Trosoglovic so far. Both Olympic fullbacks have had their work cut out for them. Ben Jarson has been almost triple teamed at various points by the movement of Giorgio Speranza, Harry McCarthy, and on occasion when he drifts out of the central area, Brendan Chalakian. There's a resumption of that battle. Great ball in from Wigan. Moody Najjar, can he get his feet sorted? He can't. Olympic deal with the danger. Move forward at a rate of knots. Marcus Fernandez for Yuta Kimura. His touch was a heavy one. Took him out of play. Haven't seen the best of Yuta Kimura so far tonight. Player who impressed enough in his 10-game stint with the relegated Western City Rangers last season to be signed by Sydney Olympic, against whom he scored in his early days at the club that were then called Mount Druitt. It's a lovely touch from Ollie Wigan. Hunter Elliott's to Lockie Constable. He was the replacement in the first half for Jerry Skitardis. That ball asked the question. Aaron Basic held up by Van der Sarg. It's really well done by the tonight central defender. And now looking to turn defence into attack. Moody Najjar dinking it over the keeper and scoring wonderfully. Well, Derby Day always requires a hero, and the evidence is it could well be Moody Najjar for Rockdale. A fantastic finish to allow Ilinden to retake the lead against Olympic. And if he was catching it before, he's well and truly on fire now. 4 in season 2026. And Rockdale wrestle back their lead with a moment of quality. And the plaudits will go to Moody Najjar for the finish. And a fantastic one it was as well, as were the celebrations with the Ilinden active supporters, but the contribution of Harry Van der Sarg cannot be forgotten. A full stretch defensive effort to thwart the advance of Marko Aaron Basic. And then just a simply sublime defence splitting ball for Najjar, who had work to do, did it wonderfully. A great goal. Let's put Rockdale back ahead. And the question is, do Sydney Olympic have the wherewithal to come back from behind again? So often over the seasons it's been Illinden's wants, specialists of the late show in this competition. Now Olympic will have to give the hosts a taste of their own medicine. If they want to come away from the Ilinden Sports Centre with league points for just the 5th time in 16 visits. Najjar couldn't work the angle for Van der Sark, who's thrown himself forward. It's the 16th league meeting between these two since the turn of the millennium. Rockdale have won 11 to Olympics 2. Trusoglovic able to pick the pass forward for Muto Fujita, but Sam Kelly is going to pull back for the prior infringements. Gordon. One back by a combination of Danzo and Wigan. Woody Najjar will be searching for his hat-trick in what remains of this game. Paul D will be very pleased indeed. His 25-year-old former A-League striker is filling the void for Alek Odaszewski. After filling that void, scoring against Sydney Olympic was a not insignificant part of it. I think many, if any, players can make claim to more goals in this fixture than Alek Odaszewski's 11. Najjar now has 3 in as many meetings. Quite the release for Ollie Wigan. We'll look up to the penalty area and see red and black shirts, one of whom is Constable. Great cross, Chalakian! Made advantage of the use of an arm, so would not have troubled the scoreboard had it rifled its way past Josipovic. Constable works the angle for Chalakian. It wasn't the worst idea. A little chip and chase for Moody Najjar. Striker not quite reading the intent of the midfield maestro. Hong holds off the menacing intent of Moody Najjar. Olympic unable to muster anything in opposition to Rockdale's advantage at the moment. As distinct from Moody Najjar's first goal, Sydney Olympic have not even been given a sniff in the last 5 minutes of an instant equaliser. Najjar did well to keep that in the home side's grasp. Constable. Hunter Elliott. First comes Ziggy Gordon, fully committed defending. Gets his reward. Olympic win it back. Kimura looking to do it himself. Now he'll need a bit of support. Yuta Fujita. And Asag. Another monolithic defensive effort from him, because Fujita returned the favour to his countryman Kimura. Could have been a big chance. It still might be. Well struck by Yuta Kimura. With the twixt in between shot and cross. Oh, that is a poor pass from Van der Sar. Kimura double teamed by Rockdale defenders. And Harry Van der Sar has well and truly fallen victim to the commentator's curse as the former Sydney FC, Adelaide United and Brisbane Raw man. Waxing lyrical in his second stanza about his defending, his assist for the second goal. Far and away that one, his worst moment of the match. Throw goes looking for Aaron Basic and finds him. It's Marco Aaron Basic unable to repay the favour. Sets of substitutes are warming up at the present moment. Rockdales have only recently been sent to go through their paces. Both benches that are leaning fairly heavily on youth stocks at the present moment. Olympics in particular. Be able to hear through the effects mic. The wind has picked up. It was largely a non-factor in the first half, but swirling a bit. The Ilinden Sports Centre now favouring the goal that Rockdale are attacking, if only marginally. Rayleigh Callaghan rewarded for his efforts. Been quite the finish so far to a footballing feast in NPL New South Wales today. The Raiders and Sydney United got us started at Ernie Smith. United with a 1-0 win in that game. West Arpia seeing off Blacktown in a 3-2 thriller for wins to Northwest Sydney Spirit against St George City. Crosstown rival St George FC against Manly bookended a 2-2 draw. That's a double take reading that out between UNSW and Marconi. Proof of the level of competition in NPL New South Wales this season. Even the cat is capable of looking at the king. Of scoreline, 2 goals apiece that Olympic are on the hunt for now. Callaghan breaks away. Fujita has the turn on the Jets against Hunter Elliott, uses the body well to keep it alive for Olympic. Trusoglovic, good ball, Aaron Basic, glancing header. Well judged in the end by Levi Kay. High risk ball from Van der Sar. Could it prove to be high reward? Chalakian. Wigan. Shah was the target, but Olivich always favoured in the end. goals has not been a problem for them Olympics so far this season. 10 in the opening 5 rounds. They will back themselves to find a way past the goal of Levi K, or into the goal of Levi K. Can they keep Ilinden at bay in the opposite direction? To wonder when and or if they will turn to the likes of Yorios Luka, young gun who's first out of the blocks this season with 2 goals in as many games a couple of weeks ago. Dunzo. Wigan. Intricate passing from Ilinden and across to the far side. Harry McCarthy couldn't find the insurance policy for Ilinden, and Speranza drives it in but finds only a blue shirt, who is all too happy to clear it away. Good hustle by Marcus Fernandez. Shalakian. Oh, that's as good as it gets. For the 3rd season running, it's Shalakian against his old side on Derby Day for Ilinden. And that may just be the insurance policy that Rockdale need to see it out against the old enemy. And what's a way to buy some breathing room it was from Brendan Shalakian. And the sub is going to come now for Sydney Olympic. So that has rather sapped some of the enthusiasm out of their charge and chase. Not beyond them, of course, still plenty of time. You never say never in football, but that bullets from a former player, no less. A bitter pill to swallow. That's relation for Ilinden, who have got the bit between their teeth now. Shalakian. Wigan. He stops and props. He twists and turns. Ollie Wigan. Oh, nearly in for an own goal.
Substitution for Sydney Olympic, number 21, Utah coming on.
And just the confirmation of that substitution, of course. Brooklyn Malia, one of the elevated youngsters this season, has come on for Yuta Kimura. Elevated out of the under-20s after the 3 years in the Olympic youth program. It's been handy in flashes off the bench. Of course, it is Brooklyn Marley or anything like his namesake in NPL New South Wales at Blacktown. He could be a very handy player indeed. The rain started to tumble at Rockdale. One of the goals going to keep crashing in for the hosts. It's a good corner. It's awkward for Olovic again. And Fujita able to lump it away. Malia giving chase as the ball is taken out of play by Rio Kunimoto. Mendes is cut back, cleared by Kunimoto again. Got a lot of focus and praise to his Japanese compatriots in Olympic shirts. He's been a handy pickup so far. Couldn't have got off to a worse start. Kunimoto coming on in that 4-1 defeat to Marconi. Signing from his club in Taiwan. Minutes to go at the Ilinden Sports Centre. Rockdale, as things stand, with an 18th league win against Olympic. From 35 meetings, or 36 meetings this millennium, well in their grasp. Chopped inside. Oh, the back heel is brilliant! What a finish from Ollie Wiggin! And it more than likely has finished Olympic off. And how? A brilliant back heel. That is icing on the cake at the Ilinden Sports Centre. Speranza's ball in, and the deftest of flicks from Ollie Wiggin is a fancy fourth for the hosts. And in a game that has had no shortage of quality goals, Ollie Wiggin is the latest to add his effort to the list of contenders. And it's a third goal in as many games for the former Spirit star. Might well the Rockdale supporters' chance, because what a second half showing they have been treated to. 4 goals, each fantastic in their own right, to break away from a game they were up against it in at the end of the first half. Shalakian, he's sizing it up again. This for the goal scorer in Ollie Wiggin. And now the intent for the hosts will be to really pile the pressure on there. Sydney rivals. Rockdale's biggest ever win against Sydney Olympic. It was a 4-goal margin. Of course, that came last year here at this very venue. And previously won by that scoreline back in 2013. Olympic have made a few more changes as well as they look to give some of their young talents a chance to get more match minutes in this game. Jarson sized it up, Ben Jarson. Brooklyn Malia. Still Brooklyn Malia. Would have been a decent way to announce yourself with the first senior goal. Not to be for Brooklyn Malia. Yurios Luka and Sam Bosniak, the two players who have made their way on for Olympic. It's a change that has brought off Bailey Callahan and the Korean Kim Jun-yong. So Josh Hong will step out of the central defensive slots and move into midfield. Wigan. Picked off by Trosoglovic. Shalakian was fearless to win it back, and the touch and turn was quality. The ball not bad either. It's past the reach of Najjar. Luka. Stuns it towards Ben Jarson. Marcus Fernandez flips the field wonderfully. Yuto Fujita. Can they get a goal back, Sydney Olympic? Fujita. It was an enterprising ball to the back post. And a diving header to save the day from Rio Kunimoto. Paul D yet to turn to his bench in this second stanza. Trosoglovic, big deflection. Will Kay keep it in play? He will. So as things stand, Paul D's men will move to 4 wins, 1 loss to start the new season. Shalakian couldn't slip it into the gap for Muri Najjar. I think he might have been offside anyway. Fujita has kept it alive. Brooklyn Malia brought down. Free kick coming from the referee, Sam Kelly. But given the scale of departures, not necessarily volume, but quality, the real changing of the guard in the off-season for Ilinden. Braden Sorge, Blake Rashudo, and Rushevsky departed. Sam Kelly is not going to allow that free kick to be taken quickly. Over 400 games of Rockdale experience come out of the spine of this side. There's mixed opinions about how they would go in this campaign, but for the 1 loss, which, to be fair, is a pretty big blip on the radar. 4-1 loss to Marconi. It's been a pretty solid start to life post that trio. Whisked away by Wigan. It'll be 3 wins on the spin if it holds for Ilinden. Great setup for a tricky 3-week run coming up. Home to Apia in a week's time, away to Spirit on the 21st of March before they host Sydney United. It is really going to be a 3-week run that sorts the wheat from the chaff in the finals and premiership race. Ben Jarson, angled ball. Adam Basic can only guide it into the waiting arms of Levi Kay. Shalakian fires the ball across for Speranza. Rockdale have got 2 ready to come on in a matter of moments. In fact, it may even be 3. Constable takes the ball in stride. It is held up in the end by Ziggy Gordon. Luka. It's a blind turn from Jarson. Football afforded far too easily. Back to their opponents. Paul Kalambokis, Mohamed Adam, and Jordi Follette all ready to come on. It'll be interesting to see who they're replacing. Constable inside to Danzo. There's a hearty Bronx cheer from the Ilinden faithful. And it'll bring about this triple substitution. So as we said, Jordi Follette, Kalambokis, Paul Kalambokis that is, and Mohamed Adam, the Sudanese international, all ready to make their way onto the field. Harry McCarthy is coming off alongside Rio Kunimoto. And Ollie Wigan, the last of that trio to make way. So some well-earned rest for those players. McCarthy, of course, the assist for the opener. Wigan, the scorer of the eye-catching and most recent goal of the 4. Kunimoto has played an important role in making sure that some of Olympics forward forays weren't more threatening when this game was still alive as a contest. If the name is familiar for some of you who are watching on, Mohamed Adam. It's the same Mohamed Adam who had a short stint at Sydney Olympic. Chalakian, he couldn't do it again, could he? He looked to turn provider. Follette. Substitute still coming up to the speed of the game. Interestingly, Paul D has left Mohamed Adam, who is an attack-minded player, can run through the middle at striker on alongside Mudi Najjar. Mohamed Adam scoring 6 goals in 13 games in the 2021 season. Extended season for Sydney Olympic. Launched over the top. Aaron Basic there. Did that come off the arm of Levi Kay? Perhaps it happened when he was still in the box. In any case, it was all to the liking of Sam Kelly. And play continues. It got a little ugly between Hunter Elliott and Yuto Fujita. May well be hearing the constructive criticism of the Rockdale players that when they got in the tangle, you generally can't kick out in the way that Yuto Fujita did, even if he did make contact. Unmistakably it was there, but Sam Kelly deciding to display the Japanese winger some leniency this time around. Najjar, can he feed the feed of the substitute? Mohamed Adam, this would be quite a way to debut, and Olovic is able to scramble to pick it back up at the second chance. Bosniak. Danielchevsky stripped and ready for Rockdale. Pass made to look better by the hustle of Drasoglovic. Hunter Elliott fouled by Brooklyn Malia. Of course, the other side of the coin is it's now 1 win in the opening 5 potentially for Sydney Olympic. doesn't get any easier with St George FC undefeated. I believe still yet to concede a goal. St George FC to come next week. Brendan Chalakian earning his plaudits from Paul D and the coaching staff as he comes off the field with another goal against Sydney Olympic to his name. Oh, he will look back on with some pride, I'm sure. Follette. And from Mount Druitt's able to keep the ball in play, but not much more.
Jordy, that's you!
They pull something back to inject a bit of much-needed belief. Julius Luca thwarted in his advance by Harry van der Sarg. And it's looking at this juncture like another night of soul-searching for Sydney Olympic. Fan base who would probably tell you there'd be more than enough of that in recent time. Plenty for the Olympic fans to discuss at their general meeting on the 24th of March at the Canterbury Leagues Club. Soglovich. Really good pass, not rewarded by Brooklyn Malia. Just to maintain the order and housekeeping. Dean Jovchevsky has come on, of course. Replaced Brendan Chalakian. Highly rated youngster around these parts, Jovchevsky. His senior debut on the final day of the regular season last year as a 17-year-old against Sydney FC. And on comes Max Lubric for Mason Fernandez. Comes off the bench for the first time since round 2, Lubric. Follette. Constable. Follette just clears the space for him. Constable's cross was threatening, so safety first from Ziggy Gordon. Knocks it out of play for Rockdale corner. Woody Najjar will continue his corner duties. I can't help but wonder if he'd much rather be on the end of them at this point with the hat-trick still on. It's not impossible. He could just curl it in from the corner. I guess time will tell. It's not bad from Najjar. It nearly did go all the way in, and it struck on the follow-up by Speranza. And the ball from Woody Najjar earns applause from the Rockdale bench. Stoppage time approaching at the Ilinden Sports Centre. Time enough for a consolatory prize for Olympic, or a salt in the wound for the home side. Follette didn't have the fast footwork to get around Bosniak. Jovchevsky, Danzo. In the captain's armband now. And has Jovchevsky stayed on side? And the body language of the assistant referee, pretty telling even before the flag came up there. Set to be a very happy night at the Ilinden Sports Centre. Step change, the first from Hunter Elliott, not so great on the second time. Yorios Luka. Don't fault the enthusiasm of the youngster. He meets what has largely been a brick wall of a Rockdale defence in the second half. Easy to forget that this game was level and on for young and old. Coming out of the halftime break, Rockdale have blown by their rivals in serious style. Ben Hutchison has added 3 additional minutes on. Well picked off by Yuta Fujita, who's run all day for Olympic. Couldn't work the angle though. It's easy pickings for Van der Sar. Jovchevski. First and second touches left a little to be desired, but the third was precise. And that was nearly 2. Looking to reward the run of Mo Adam. Great play from Rockdale. Hunter Elliott's early ball, though, is not the best. It's comfortable for Josipovic. Ziggy Gordon. Massive stretch coming up for Sydney Olympic. Mentioned that St George FC game that is going to be a tough one next Saturday at Belmore. They host the Wanderers and then Wollongong Wolves after that. So there will be opportunities to pick themselves back up. We are still only 5 rounds into the season, let's not forget. 25 still to be played after this. Fujita getting the head down. Straight to the feet of Isaac Danzo. Olympic searching forlornly for a second. Of course, there is a game to come tomorrow here at this venue as well. Wollongong taking on Sydney FC to end the weekend. But Saturday nights, try as Sydney Olympic might. Fujita is upended. Cleared off the goal line. It's a happy night at the Ilinden Sports Centre. A dose of deja vu on Derby Day. As for the second year running, Rockdale put 4 past their rival Sydney Olympic on their home patch. Sydney Olympic did have a goal of their own as distinct from that 4-0 fixture last season. But this performance just as impressive from Rockdale, who were level with their rivals at the break. Moody Najar's first half strike cancelled out by an equaliser for Marko Arambasic. It was in the second stanza where this Rockdale side really showed their quality and flexed their muscle. 3 goals, each as good as the last in their own way. A dink from Moody Najar to retake the lead. Chalakian from outside the box against his former side was a cracker. And then a moment of invention from Ollie Wigan, a back heel flick to seal the deal and send Paul D's side into a red-hot run of 3 wins on the spin. Derby Day delight for the 18th time in the league since 2000. It's been a great watch for the neutral, and it's been Rockdale's to enjoy at the Ilinden Sports Centre. We sign off from Sydney South, from myself, Lockie Flanagan, and from the Sportscast crew. It's good night for now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend in NPL New South Wales. The full-time score, Rockdale 4, Sydney Olympic 1.